Hey everybody, today we're gonna dive into something that's super close to my heart. How to heal fully from a narcissist. If you've been in a relationship with a narcissist, you already know how tough it can be to move forward once it's over. The manipulation, the gaslighting, the emotional roller coaster, it takes a toll. But here's the good news. You are in control of your healing. And I'm gonna share with you 4 essential things that you absolutely must do to get there. Healing isn't just about moving on. It's about reclaiming your life, your self-worth, and your peace. So let's talk about how to do that. And hey, if you're new here, I'm so glad we found each other. All right, let's jump in. Now, very first thing you need to do, and this is crucial, is to accept what happened and take full accountability for how you feel. Notice I didn't say what happened to you. Take full accountability for how you feel. I know that sounds simple, but hear me out. When you've been with a narcissist, there's this weird tendency to minimize what you went through. You might think, well, maybe I'm just overreacting, or it wasn't that bad, or at least it wasn't physical abuse. But listen, if you were in a narcissistic relationship, it was bad. Narcissists have a way of distorting reality, and when you're in it, it's easy to get confused about what's normal and what's not. So the first step to healing is acknowledging the full impact of what you went through. You were manipulated, gaslit, and likely emotionally abused. Maybe even physically abused. Don't minimize it, own it. Because until you accept the truth of what happened, it's gonna be really hard to fully heal. And remember, accepting it doesn't mean you're stuck in victimhood. It's about honoring your lived experience so you can move forward. Next up, you've got to detox from the narcissist influence. And by detox, I mean cutting off any lingering ties. I know this one can be tough, especially if you share kids, mutual friends, a business together, or if you've been trauma bonded to this person. But hear me out. Narcissists have a way of keeping their hooks in you, even long after the relationship ends, because you can hear their voice in your head around every corner. This might mean going no contact, or at least limiting contact as much as possible. Maybe it's extreme modified no contact in the beginning, and you slowly work to go completely no contact over time. That means no texting, no checking their social media, blocking them everywhere, not being able to reach them by email, phone, text, blocking them everywhere. No wondering what they're up to. Because trust me, every little interaction, every time that a text comes in from them, they pop up in your social media, or even if you block them and they pop up in someone else's social media or an email, your nervous system is gonna be totally triggered. And that is gonna make adrenaline, cortisol spike in your body, and you're going to instantly be feeling like you're walking on eggshells again. You may even have like a shortness of breath. Your arms might go numb. You might be tingly, just because your nervous system was triggered. That's why no contact is so much a non-negotiable, because you need space to rebuild yourself without their toxic influence looming over you. This detox is absolutely non-negotiable if you really want to heal. Now, if you have kids with them, extreme modified no contact is probably more realistic. There may even be family members that you need to do this with. Maybe you set boundaries around when you see them, when you allow them to trigger you. For example, the day before you drop off kids or the day before you pick up. Maybe your narcissist in your life is a parent or a sibling. And so you know that you are going to pretend like everything is normal on Christmas or Thanksgiving, but you protect yourself outside of those key times where you plan ahead to be triggered, and then the rest of the time you protect your peace, and that's called extreme modified no contact. You can even get a different cell phone if you have children together, and you can even get a flip phone or just a phone that only number they have for you, and then you only look at that phone when it's time to trade kids. Okay, next. This one is huge. You've got to rebuild your self-worth. One of the most damaging things about being with a narcissist is that over time, they chip away at your sense of self. You end up feeling like you're not enough, like nothing you do is ever right. Sound familiar? That's because narcissists thrive on control. And one way that they maintain control is by making you doubt yourself. So when the relationship ends, you might find you're feeling lost, unsure of who you are without them. You might not even know what your favorite color is or what favorite foods you have because you have become so codependent with the narcissist that you have not even allowed yourself to know what color you want your hair, what clothes you want to wear, what car you want to drive. Here's what I want you to remember. You are enough, even if it doesn't feel that way right now. And rebuilding your self-worth starts by taking small steps to remind yourself of that. Start by doing things that make you feel good, things that remind you of who you were before the narcissist came into your life. It could be hobbies like taking up running again, spending time with people who uplift you, getting extensions or fancy nails that you weren't allowed to get when you were with them. This can be an extension of your interests so that you can play in different areas of your life to find out what your likes and dislikes are, or even just practicing self-compassion. And don't rush it. Healing takes time, and so does rebuilding your confidence. Every little step counts, I promise. The more you invest in yourself, the more you'll realize that the narcissist version of you was actually never true. You're more than enough, exactly as you are. Finally, this one's big. Learn to trust again, but with boundaries. After being with a narcissist, it's completely normal to have trust issues. If you have them, you are right on schedule, I promise. Narcissists betray your trust in so many ways, whether it's through lies, manipulation, or emotional games. And it can feel impossible to open yourself up to someone new, even in friendships, work relationships, not just in romantic relationships, but all of it. But here's the thing, even though it feels like it at times, not everyone is a narcissist. Not everyone is gonna hurt you. Learning to trust again is part of the healing process, but it has to come with boundaries. And what I mean by boundaries is knowing your worth, knowing what you will and will not tolerate, and protecting your peace at all costs. A boundary is simply a request and a consequence. The request being, this is what's okay, this is what's not okay. And if you break those two things, then I will do this. It can only be something that you can control. So it can't be a consequence for the other person. Like, if you do this, then you won't be allowed to drive me in the car. If you do this, I will buy my own car and I will drive anywhere I want to go. By the way, please get your own credit card in your name, your own car, so that you can have financial independence and are able to go and do what you want to do. Having a credit card, having credit is one of the best things that you can do because it's like your GPA for the adult world. It's how people know if you can be trusted with money or not. So just pay off that card every single month, build your credit score up, and then if you ever need to leave or you ever need to be financially independent from the narcissist, you'll be able to rent an apartment, buy a car, buy a house, or just be trusted in the financial world. Now, if someone shows signs of manipulative behavior, walk away. Don't ignore red flags or make excuses for people. You've been there and now you know better. But don't close yourself off completely. And by the way, even though you know better, sometimes we still get in another relationship with a narcissist. Try not to beat yourself up too badly. If you don't take time to heal, it's likely that you will have another relationship with another narcissist. And so rather than beat yourself up like that, know that giving yourself at least 12 months in between a relationship from a narcissist and your next relationship without having sex, without being a boyfriend or a girlfriend, without living with someone, no dating, just healing for 1 year by yourself. That increases the odds of you not getting together with another narcissist by like over 80%. Now, there are good people out there who will respect your boundaries and value you for who you are. Healing is about finding balance, letting yourself be open to new relationships without ever sacrificing your self-respect again. To recap, the 4 things you must do to fully heal from a narcissist are: accept what happened without minimizing it and take full responsibility for how you feel. Have compassion for yourself. Anyone would have done the same thing as you. 2, detox from the narcissist's influence completely by going no contact or extreme modified no contact so that you can allow your nervous system to rest and not be so on edge every time they trigger you. We want to distance those times of triggering or eliminate them altogether. 3, rebuild your self-worth one step at a time, exploring the things that maybe you weren't allowed to do when you were with the narcissist, or rediscovering the things that you really truly like and don't like. Let yourself have opinions and play in all the different areas that maybe you were too scared to try and look at before. Number 4, learn to trust again, but always with boundaries. Remember, a boundary is where you make a request and have a consequence that you can control to protect your own peace, not to control the narcissist. I know healing from a narcissist is actually one of the hardest things you'll ever do, but trust me, it's possible. You're stronger than you know, and every step you take towards healing is a step towards reclaiming your power in life. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more content just like this. And hey, if you've been through this, share your story in the comments below. Let's support each other on this journey. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you on the next one.